Okay, guys, we're going to jump right into this. It is November the 25th, 2020. I wanted to date stamp this first video just because I'm personally curious as to how long this endeavor is going to take. I'm going to jump right in. The only time in these videos that I'm even going to mention the preface video is right now. If you want a better explanation of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing in this video, showing it the way I am, definitely check out that preface because it will not be mentioned again. First up, we have Absinthe with Inanimus. This is a good slab of doom metal. Teeters on death doom at times, teeters on funeral doom at times. I am stoked to have a copy that comes with the slipcase. There for a while, I had a copy that kind of got wore out that did not have the slipcase with it. I saw these on sale very cheap on Pagan Flames web store. So I wanted a complete copy, and now I have one. Hopefully I will not be fighting this glare through the whole video. But there we go with Absinthe. Very good doom metal there. So next up we have Asgard with this Raven's Hymns Foreshadows the End. Very solid stuff here. This was released on Necrogoat Heresy Productions. And it looks like the glare is going to be a uphill battle today. But we're not going to let it deter. Next up, we have some more Asgard. This is the only other Asgard release that I own. I need to rectify that somewhere in the future. This is Morbid Celestial Desecration. I love the artwork on this one. Very good stuff. This one has multiple labels that worked, I guess, in succession or worked hand in hand to actually give this a physical release. I am glad that they did. This is probably my favorite Asgard release, and it is some pretty solid material here. Next up, we have a split between Abbasinate and Gorath. I tend to enjoy the Abbasinate side of this split a little bit more. They kind of tote the line between death metal and deathcore. I know that will turn some people off. Gorath seemed a bit more of the straightforward death metal, but I did enjoy. It seemed like the Abbasinate side was a little bit better. The name of their portion of this split was Portrayal of the Gray Man, and Gorath's portion was entitled The Decayed State. Pretty good stuff here. I mean, you can find this CD for practically pennies these days. It's not just a highly sought after CD. Next up, we have Abbasinate with Ruination. They were a band that tend to rip off Job for a Cowboy album titles. So this jewel case has definitely seen better days. I did not change this one out. I've been changing out a lot of the jewel cases as I go along, but I didn't feel the need on this one. It's not something that just gets a ton of spins through out of the collection, so I just kind of left it the way it was. Next up, we have Abandoned with Never Ending Black Torrent of Death. Very, very dark. As you can tell, it's black metal. I mean, obviously, that is black metal. This was limited to 1,000 copies. I believe I got this in an eBay lot. I cannot remember, honestly. After the collection gets so big, you kind of lose track of where some of the stuff came from. I do dig this. I haven't listened to it in quite a while, but that's going to be the case with a lot of stuff that I show. Seems like sometimes when stuff gets shelved away and put away, it kind of gets lost in the shuffle. Next up, we have Abated Massive Flesh with Death Crusher. This is one that I actually have listened to fairly recently. I had this playing in the truck not too long ago on my commute back and forth to work. I received this in that giant severed records grab bag that I got. I did dig this one. It was probably one of the better albums that for me personally, that I received. It's just kind of that chuggy, that death metal. If you know, you know. Next up, we have some more black metal. This is Abaza Gorath with the Satanic Verses. I have not played this album in probably 3 years. I don't remember just a ton about it, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was released on Eternal Death. From what I remember it was fairly good, straightforward black metal. I believe I got this from Metallic Media when Metallic Media was still around doing their grab bags. Not terrible, not something that I have just felt the urge to pull off the shelf in a long time, obviously. Next up, we have some black and doom metal. This is Abbess with their self-titled. This is really good stuff. It's either Abbess or Abbess. I got this on a Black Friday sale. I'm pretty positive. I'm not sure where I purchased it from on Black Friday. I'm wanting to say I got it on Hell's Headbangers, but that could be completely false at this point. This was released in 2015 on Lost Apparitions Productions. Like I said, it's just black and doom metal. Has hints of funeral doom, very kind of sprinkled in throughout the album. Very good stuff. I definitely, after doing this video, I think I'm going to revisit that one because it's been quite a while since I listened to it, and I did enjoy that. Next up, we have Abdicate with Fragmented Atrocities. This is another one that I picked up out of that Severed Records grab bag. Pretty good stuff. I mean, there's quite a bit of albums that came out of that grab bag that sound very similar. This one tends to kind of fall into that kind of gray area there. Just straightforward death metal, kind of teetering towards brutal death metal. Not terrible, but not super memorable either. I do like the artwork on it though. Next up, we have Abdullah. We've got some Stoner Doom. This is the only album that I picked up from this project. It was probably my favorite release that they have released, and it's the only one that I've actually sought out to add to the collection. But it is some pretty well performed, pretty good stuff. Good Stoner Doom. So there you go, Abdullah with self-titled. Next up, we have some rock. We have Abel with Make It Right. I have absolutely no idea how this ended up in my collection. None whatsoever. I do enjoy this album. A bit softer than a lot of the things that I listen to. A bit more positive message going on here than a lot of the things that I listen to. I have no idea how I acquired this. I don't know where it came from. I don't know. I didn't seek it out and purchase it on my own, so I'm sure it either came from a grab bag or a big lot that I purchased at one point in time. It's one of those that had set on the shelf, kind of set on the side, and kind of got stored away until I found time to give some new stuff. I was looking through stuff that I purchased and not had time to listen to yet, and I kind of dug that, so it secured a spot on the shelf in the collection. Next up, we have Abgot with Fizala. This is some black metal. Obviously, this I bought. I think I got this last year on Black Friday. I got it from Hell's Headbangers, and it was $1. And you know what? This sounds like black metal that I purchased from Hell's Headbangers for $1. I mean, it's not terrible. I mean, but there's not really much memorable going on that release at all. Next up, we have Abhomine with Larvae Awful Swine. I got this back when Fossil Dungeon was still around with their web store, their eBay store, and that type stuff. This was released originally on released through Hell's Headbangers. Very solid black and death metal with Helmkamp. I mean, in charge of the project, you know that it's going to be some good stuff. I do dig this album quite a bit, and I do miss Fossil Dungeon and their mystery lots and big lots that they used to sell on eBay. Next up, we have Abigail Williams with the Legends EP. I do dig Legend. I said Legends. Legend EP. I do dig this EP. Not my favorite release from the band, but I do dig this. Finally, something a bit more mainstream in the video. So some of you guys that didn't know anything else, I'm sure you've heard of Abigail Williams. I just changed this disc around, and now the disc doesn't even want to stay in the new jewel case. So I just changed this case around, rather. I don't know why the disc does not want to stick in there. Next up, we have Abigail Williams with In the Shadow of a Thousand Suns. This is probably my favorite release from Abigail Williams. I love pretty much everything about this. I love the artwork. The music on this is pretty solid as well. This was released through Candlelight. Is Candlelight still even around? I know that sounds kind of ignorant from me saying that, but now, like, thinking about it, I have not seen a Candlelight release in quite some time, a new release. So I don't know if it's just me missing the mark there or what. Next up, we have Abigail Williams with Becoming. This one kind of slid under the radar when it came out, and I was late grabbing a copy of this as well. I picked this up when all the Hastings stores were going out of business. I think I got this for like $2, and I was kind of kicking myself after I got it for sleeping on it as long as I did. I did enjoy this album quite a bit. But there's Abigail Williams with Becoming. And the last one that I actually sought out to purchase from Abigail Williams is, what's the name of this one? The Accuser, I think. Unfortunately, the digipack got damaged in transit, but this one was pretty good as well. I was not a huge fan of their newest release. I know that there were a lot of people that really dug that new one, but it just... something about it was just not for me. I don't know. The sound from the band had been morphing. Each album sounds a little bit different, and the soundscapes on the newest release I just was not a huge fan of. Next up, we have some deathcore. This is Abolish with Beyond Redemption. For some reason, the little security sticker that was at the top has left that residue on this case. I need to get some Goo Gone or something and get that off of there. Pretty good. As far as deathcore goes, this leans a bit more to the hardcore side of things, but it is pretty good stuff. This was on Stillborn Records. Not something that I'm going to pull off the shelf and listen to all of the time, but it is pretty good for what it is. Next up, we have Abominant with Triumph of the Kill. This is some very solid death metal. I got this from Deathgasm Records, and it's making me want to seek out some more Abominant. I think I said that when I actually got this album in the first place, and I have yet to do so. So maybe this is a little self-reminder for me personally to go seek out more Abominant material, because this release was stellar. I mean, it's just well performed, good death metal. So war themed death metal, you can't go wrong there. Next up, we have Abomination with 2 T's. This is Doctrine of False Martyr. This is another one that I got on one of those, I think I got this from Hell's Headbangers last Black Friday. I was expecting this to be black metal. I mean, I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I looked at that, I blind bought this, and I expected it to be black metal. This is Brazilian fast-paced death metal. This is actually a reissue. I think the reissue came out in 2004, I believe. The first press or first issue of this came out around 2001. It's pretty good. I mean, it's just fast-paced Brazilian death metal. If you familiar with that South American death metal style, there's nothing groundbreaking on that release, but it is very good stuff. Changing gears quite a bit, we're moving to Iceland with some black metal. This is Abominor with Opus Decay. This is their latest release. It is only an EP. It came out, I'm wanting to say, in 2015. And it left me wanting more from Abominor, and they have not released anything else. It is death infused black metal. It is not black and death metal, but you have black metal, well performed Icelandic black metal, but you have hints of death metal going on throughout it. Very chaotic, very good stuff. I want to hear more from them, but I just haven't heard anything else. Next up, we have some brutal death metal. This is Aborting with Demonic Infestation. I was trying to remember the name of this EP or demo. This is Josh Aborting's band through Grind State Records. I've had my hands on this one for quite a while. I think I first got this back when I was began doing the Grind State Records grab bags. I went through quite a few of those mystery boxes and stuff. This was definitely a highlight from that. Very good, well performed, brutal death metal. I think the original recording of this came out several years before this particular CD release did, because it has some other live stuff going on from like 2015. But I believe Demonic Infestation itself came out a bit before that. Next up, we have some more Aborting. This is their 2008 through 2016 compilation. I love that artwork on this one. This has some live material, some demo material, just a mix of different stuff going on there. And it has the free mustache rides right there on the disc, so you can't go wrong with that. Next up, this will be the band that closes out this first video. All of these last releases. This is probably my least favorite release from that band. Starting off, we have Aborted with a Hematobic EP. Yeah, I butchered that horribly. I apologize for that. This is one that was very polarizing. I know that there were a lot of people that just did not really care for the style that the band did on this EP. I mean, it's not terrible. I do enjoy Aborted, and I'm glad to have this in the collection, but it's definitely not my favorite release from Aborted. Next up, we have probably one of, if not my favorite releases from Aborted, so it kind of works both ways. We have Slaughter and Apparatus, a methodical overture. Had this been my introduction to the band, I probably would already have much more material from Aborted in my collection. I slept on this band for way too long. There's the jewel case and the artwork without the slip case. I've been slowly chipping away at adding more Aborted material to the collection. As you'll see, I do not have all of their releases as we make it through these videos. This was my introduction to the band, and this was probably the reason why I slept on them when they did. It is definitely not my favorite release that they've put out. This is Strychnine 213. I heard this one, and I just kind of put them on a back burner. Wasn't super excited about hearing anything else. It just felt like run-of-the-mill type stuff, so it wasn't. I actually saw them perform live, and that's what kind of led me to listen to some of their newer releases, and then I just kind of fell for the band and have been seeking out their material ever since. So as we make it through these videos and you see that I'm missing some of their discography and you want to be generous and send it to me, I'm very open for that. I'm just kidding. I'm not here to ask you guys for freebies. Next up, we have a phenomenal release from Aborted. This is a Global Flatline. This has to be another one that ranks right up there with some of my favorite material that they've done, along with the next one that I'm going to show as well. This is the Digipack. I mean, how can you go wrong with that artwork? I know I'm not doing a lot of this stuff that I'm showing today justice because between my camera, the glare, and me not giving it enough frame time or on-screen time. There we go. Global Flatline from Aborted. Amazing stuff. And then a perfect way to wrap up this video, we have Aborted with Retro Gore, rather. Great stuff here. This one could also rival as my favorite Aborted release. This is amazing stuff. This is kind of when I felt like the band is hitting their modern stride going, because the last few releases that they've hit have all been very technical and just hard hitting, in your face, true Aborted style. So there we go, Retro Gore. That's all I've got for episode 1. So we're in this. Like I said, there's going to be probably 150, a little over 150 of these videos when it's all said and done. So hope you enjoyed it. Hope you look forward to seeing episode 2. Later.